So it hasn't gotten any better. What is going on? It is time to get back to an actual backpacking trip. You've already seen the title, you know where I am. I am on the Ice Age Trail in Wisconsin. How the heck did I wind up in Wisconsin? I just pulled up. It is like 6:30. I don't know if the camera picked it up. There's a ruffed grouse right across the street from me. That's about the 4th time I've heard him thumping over there. That's a good sign for the start of a trip. So yeah, it is 6:30. The sun sets at 7:49. So I've got about an hour or so of really, decent light. The weather's not looking good for the next 4 days. It keeps on. I've been watching it for the last week, and maybe rain, maybe snow, maybe sun. Who knows? But I'm at the Timberland Hill segment here. I'm going to do an out and back. This trail is 1,200 miles from start to finish. I don't have time to do the whole thing. So I'm going to hike out 2 days, and then I'm going to turn around. I'm going to come back maybe 2.5 days and 2.5 days back, and then come back to the car. So I might only go, I don't know, 100 yards in. This section that I picked, the Timberland Hills and all the way out to Hemlock Creek area, is all forest district land, I think they call it in Wisconsin. Very similar to our state forest, where as long as you're on this land, you can primitive camp wherever you want. So that's the goal. Right here is campable land. I'll go up, walk a little bit, see what I can find a camp, get set up, and then just get a good start in the morning. Got some pines, so I might just kick around right in there, see what I've got, or maybe go a little further. I don't know. The big part of picking this portion of trail was the ability to camp really close to the car. So on the last day, I can pack up and get to the car and not have to worry about covering a bunch of miles to get to the car, to get back in the car and drive. So the original plan was not this. It wasn't even Wisconsin. It was Minnesota. It was the Superior Hiking Trail. That was my original plan. The section I was going to hike was just north of Duluth, just where you can start primitive camping and like proper backpacking. When you're in the Duluth section, in that lower section, you gotta stay at a campground or trip, or not camp. That's basically your options. I just got the Superior Hiking Trail guidebook, and I just was looking real quick, and I picked a couple spots. It wasn't too far to drive, and I could camp. I thought it'd be cool. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should ask somebody who knows. So I reached out to Shug, and I didn't think, that guy doesn't know who I am, so I wasn't sure if he'd even have time to reply to me. I sent him a real quick message about what I was planning on doing, and he's like, don't do it. He's like, the section you're talking about doing is being logged, and that parking lot that you're thinking about using is completely gone. It's permanently closed. Sent me a bunch of information about it, gave me some ideas of where I could go. But the spots he was talking about sounded great, but added like another hour and a half or so to my drive, which on the way in, not a big deal. But the day I'm leaving, it's just gonna be constant driving back to PA. So, oh, what's this? Check him out. Porcupine. Hey, buddy. So, haven't even finished my first clip yet. Rough grouse, porcupine. I'm pretty stoked about that. That is a very good start. Oh, there goes the tree. Maybe. I didn't see which tree he went up. I can hear him now. I'll keep moving. I don't want to bother him. So yeah, basically I pushed the Superior hiking trail. Oh, he's pretty far up that tree. He's about 12 feet up already. I don't know if you can see him. He's right. I'll try to zoom in. He's right there. All right, see you, buddy. So yeah, I got pushed out of the way, but I got pushed too far for the drive back. So if I'm gonna do this Superior hiking trail, I want to really see some really cool stuff. So this is got to be another trip. So I knew I had a general radius of areas I could go. Thought about going up and doing the North Country Trail, which is maybe an hour from where I am. Well, from where I am it goes by, but I could have picked it up at other locations. And I could have picked this up at the Wisconsin-Minnesota border at the western terminus. But that takes you through a lot of town, and there's not a lot of primitive camping allowed there. So it's a big field. It's a big field down there. Okay, go a little bit further. And I wanted to get into the wilderness, you know. So here I am. That's how I got to the Ice Age Trail. It has been 2 days in the car. A lot of driving. Not too bad though. My first time in Wisconsin, and I was just in Minnesota earlier today. So I might, on Friday, as I'm heading back, might stop and hit a couple spots there. So I've been over the Mississippi twice already today. That's, if you live near Mississippi, that's nothing, but when you're from Pennsylvania, that's not something you say very often. All right, let me hike, and I will find a camp sooner rather than later. So I've made it. I've come this way. This part of the trail is this side is that forest district. This whole little section is, but I get to an area not too far down the road, down the trail here, that kind of skirting that forest district. So it's about 7:05 right now. It leaves me about 40 minutes before the sun sets. And with this cloud cover, it's already getting a little bit dark. So this is like a cross-country ski trail, but I might just duck off this a little bit, one of these little spots, and like maybe right up here in this hill. Check that out. I'll be near this little lake. I'm really not that far from the car. I haven't gone that far. Let's see. There's a spot right there too. Look at all these little knolls. Oh. Right here. Actually, that doesn't look like a bad spot. I don't need the fire ring. I got the hammock with me, so I can just set up and camp, break it down in the morning. It'd be like I was never there. So, and this is gorgeous over here. I've already heard what it sounds like. Sandhill cranes in one of these little lakes. It's possible. I haven't seen one of those since I was in Florida, but I know they do migrate, and it is that time of year, so it's possible. I thought I saw one fly over on the way in, and that's when we're still in Wisconsin, so it's possible. It was a big bird that flew over. It definitely wasn't a goose, but I've seen some swans, or maybe white geese. I don't know what they are exactly. Let's look at this little spot. This is kind of flat here. I like that. Got a couple trees. I can see the water. There's another knoll right there. I might check that one out. Trees look pretty healthy too. So I'm gonna scout a couple of these spots, set up, and I'll come back in a minute. I got all set up. It is 7:55. The sun has set about 5 minutes ago. I got a coyote pack set up under my Allrec Dyneema tarp, set up with doors because it could rain. So I could do porch mode, but it's a little breezy. So figured I'd set this up in door mode, see how that works. I got some geese over here. I got my bear bag hung up way over there by the water somewhere. I hate bear bags. I gotta get a, I could get a Nursac. I hate hanging a bear bag. I couldn't find any rocks. It took forever to get enough weight in that thing to throw the bag. Just ridiculous. But this is what I got. I'm gonna climb in, relax, look at my guidebook, see what I've got. I only did like 1.5 miles to get to here, so I'm really not far from the car. Look at the guidebook, see how far the next spot is I want to stop at, and see what the weather's like tomorrow. I'll check and see if it's changed. It changes about every 5 minutes, what they're saying it's going to do. It's currently 39 degrees, it says. Well, last time I had signal, which was about 10 feet from here. And yeah, now today maybe a little rain, maybe rain tomorrow, Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday. It just keeps on changing, so we'll just play it by ear. If it's a light rain, I don't care, as long as it's nothing heavy and it stays warm. That's the key. It's supposed to be in the 60s, 50s and 60s for the next few days. So a little light rain. I've got extra clothes, so if I get wet in my hiking clothes when I get to camp, I can change into other clothes and sleep. If I hike in wet clothes, I don't really care that much. But I'm gonna get in my not so tight looking setup here. The wind picked up as soon as I start putting the tarp up, of course. But as long as it stay dry, that's all I care about. So I'm gonna get in the hammock, sleep, and I'll talk to you in the morning. Good morning. It is about 7:30. It's raining. Snowed a little bit last night, rained a lot. The wind has been insane. Really bad. I'm glad I had this pulled in door mode, the tarp. But my one cord over there, it's got a little, I don't know if I'm even pointing at. So right over there, there's a little titanium locking mechanism that holds that. And the wind was so strong last night, it actually loosened it up. This whole side caved in. And my backpack's right there. It got soaked. So my backpack's wet. My food bag is wet. It's about 35 degrees, maybe a little under 35. It's raining, it's cold. It's supposed to get better. Man, it is rough right now. So I'm going to, I think I'm just going to have like a Cliff Bar or something like that. I brought a couple different no-cook things. Because this wind, so I'll get to a spot where I can block the wind a little better. I don't want to be boiling water. I mean, everything is wet. I just don't want to be messing with it. It'll take too long in the wind. I don't have a windscreen with me. So that kind of sucks. But I'm debating on what I'm doing. I'm trying to get signal on the phone. Last time I looked, I was able to pull a radar, and this is just more rain coming. But it's more, I don't mind the rain so much as long as the temperature goes up and the wind goes down. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I hope this weather turns around and cooperates a little bit. I don't mind putting up with a little bit of it, but if it gets dangerous, 35 and rain, not fun. It's not something you want to be dealing with. So it's supposed to get to 50 today. I hope it starts warming up soon. Because right now this kind of sucks. So it hasn't gotten any better. Actually, just as I turn on the camera, it starts to calm down a little bit. The wind has been constant coming this direction for about the past 10 minutes. I've had to hold the tarp out because it's like somebody's laying on it. Oh, that was bad. Wow. The rain picked up real heavy, and I was just trying to pack down everything I could, and all of a sudden it would not stop. That wind wouldn't stop. And it's so wet and so cold that one of these lines slipped again. I heard it, and the whole thing like came right at me. It might be the ridge line. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for it to stop raining before I go investigate anymore. But wow, Wisconsin is showing me its best weather, I guess. This is crazy. All right, camp is packed up way later than I wanted it to be. I've not been able to get a weather forecast. I haven't been able to hold signal long enough. So it stopped raining for a little while. And I thought, oh great. You know, there's supposed to be a break after like 8 o'clock. It's probably almost 9 now, so maybe 8:30, 8:45, something like that. So I started packing down, and it was fine. And then I took the tarp down, last thing, and it started raining again. So I got my rain gear on. I'm gonna hike for a while. I came in. All right, well, the GoPro battery died with 70%, so that's awesome. Came in from that way. I'm going that way. I'm gonna eat a Slim Jim, and I'm gonna try to stay dry. I'm at the next parking lot, and found this it's like a warming hut for the Cumberland Area Ski Association. So I was able to pull a weather report while I was up here, and there's a little rain still coming in, but then it looks like it's moving north. So man, it was a rough morning. I got my GoPro charged, and I got another battery with me. I'm gonna see it maybe just charging up for a few minutes. We'll kick the battery back to life, because it was at 70% and then it just died. But it was cold and it was a little wet, so we'll see if maybe throwing a charge on it. If not, I will just put new battery in there. I'll charge it up later. But I'm gonna have some oatmeal with strawberries. Oatmeal and strawberries. And then I got my coffee rocket. I'm gonna make some coffee. And I'm going to take a break, and then I'll be back to using the GoPro instead of the phone. It rained. It was just a mess all the way up from camp. On the way back, I'll try to get a video of that dam crossing. There's like a beaver dam down there. You got to cross. It's pretty cool. But all right, I'm gonna make my breakfast and then get on the trail. All right, so this is the little area I stopped at. There's a little like a compost toilet here, which wasn't the cleanest thing in the world, but I guess it'd do in a pinch, no pun intended. There's the warming shack I was in. Just some basic information. Uh-oh, somebody dropped a glove. So some basic information. National Park Service. Huh. Wonder if the NPS takes care of that. That's cool. A mammoth for the Ice Age Trail. A map of the Ice Age Trail, which I've yet to be able to find. There you go. Here's another map of it. So we're right there. Yesterday I started right here, and I hiked down to here where this lake is. Right there. That's where I camped. Now we're here. I got back onto the county line behind the warming station here, and then cut across and head up to here. I think once I get to this parking lot, I'm gonna see what the weather's looking like and make my decision from there what I'm gonna do. Right now I got wet everything, not much dried out while I was in there. It's just too humid. It's too humid for it. Here's a good look at that campsite. Now I know you can camp here. It says so on the map that this is a campsite. Oh wow. That actually has the Timberland Hills like a logo and information right on it. That's pretty cool. Some firewood. A firewood shelf. I'm not sure that's what that's for. That might be for packs or something else. But we're gonna head back down this way. This is where I came off at the Ice Age Trail. Now I think it's just gonna take me across the road where that car's come down, but we'll see. So this trail I'm on, you might notice there's lights. Oh, up there, there's lights. This whole, they got it in Ks, 2.5 K of a lighted cross-country ski trail. So you can come out here and cross-country ski at night. It's pretty cool. Don't have anything like that back home. And here we are back on the Ice Age Trail. This was a rainy, miserable mess when I came up. So, and here's where I turned off. And we're gonna head back up that way. That's a pretty cool section. On a little bit of a road hike here, connecting two sections of the trail, and crossing this pond. And I don't think they're right here. It might be on the other side, but looks like there's a goose out there. I'm not sure what those were. They almost sounded like coots or moorhens. I forget which one makes that sound. But yesterday I said I thought I might have heard sandhill cranes, and then as the day went by, I kept hearing geese over in that pond. I said, oh, maybe it was just a couple of geese and it was echoing funny. Seems like we're awfully far north for sandhill cranes. I've only ever seen them in Florida and down south. But this morning, of course, the GoPro was dead and it was raining. But not too far out of camp, there was another little pond and a couple of sandhill cranes. Well, I won't absolutely guarantee they were sandhill cranes. They looked like sandhill cranes and they sounded like sandhill cranes. And my two poles are not the same height. That's odd. So I won't absolutely guarantee they were sandhill cranes, but they definitely sounded like them, and they looked like them. I couldn't see their heads to see if they had the red top, like the red cap, like sandhill cranes have. But they definitely sounded like them, and I just heard that again. It's like a loud trumpeting sound. And I know in Florida you could hear them like 2 miles away. They're really loud, but they're pretty cool birds. I know they migrate, so I think they migrate up to Canada, and so Wisconsin may be in their migration path. So it is possible they're coming through here. And I don't know if you can even see me. And it's gonna be one of those trips where I can't keep the camera clean or dry. This is gorgeous, and look at this. Wow. So cool. This is actually really well marked. So property boundary, Ice Age National Scenic Trail lands behind the sign, and then on this side, private land behind the sign. So what I just came through is private land, and when I got to that, there was a sign that said, you know, portions of the Ice Age Trail use private land, and it's used, you know, as a privilege to people using the trail. So like in there, don't camp. Pretty simple, right? Unless they have some spots have private camping where you can pay them and they'll let you camp there, I think, from what I was reading. I don't know if that's like private houses or if it's like some other business that owns land that they're using the property on. That's what I would imagine. But so right in here, I haven't looked at the map. But I think I'm back into the forest lands. Now it's way too soon for me to set up camp, but anywhere you're in the I think the county forest land, and on the Ice Age Trail maps it's actually marked. You'll see it's like a green shaded area with little trees in it to show you that that is forest land, and you can private, or not private, but primitive camp in those areas. So just pay attention if you're on private land, respect the land as always, but they do seem to have it pretty well marked. Alright, I am at the other end of Timberland Hills now. This is the next parking area. This is pretty nice. Trail comes up to the left of the outhouse over there. Nice parking lot. There's some garbage here, so if you got any garbage you can drop it off. This is the second cabin I've seen that you can rent from the Forest Service. They look pretty nice. The one was back there by a little pond. It was really nice. And then it looks like maybe just trails maintenance and stuff like that. But the Ice Age Trail continues on, And I've got a break in the weather here. It hasn't rained since I left the last parking lot. It sprinkled a little bit. Wasn't even really, it was barely making it down through the trees. But if I continue on this, if I can make some time, in a couple miles I'm going to come up to a lake, a pretty good sized lake. It's in forest land. If I can get there before it starts raining, I might just set up there. That'll put me at about, I don't know, maybe 9 miles or 10 miles for the day. Not as far as I want it to go, but I don't know. With the weather, it's been tricky. So yeah, I might just do that. I don't really have a set amount of miles. There's a spot I'd like to get to, but if I don't, no big deal. What I don't know won't hurt me, right? So got the pack off here for a minute, just kind of taking a break, and then I'm gonna, as soon as I get off this video here, I'm gonna get right back on the trail, try to beat this weather. I looked at the radar and it's all staying up north of me, and there's a little tail that's dipped down for the back end of it, and it could hit me unless it dissipates before it gets here, which I'm hoping for, but we'll see. It has not warmed up. It was supposed to get up to 50s, in the 50s today. I can still see my breath, so it's probably high 30s maybe. Still pretty chilly. Oh well, what can you do? I got the gear for it. All right, back on the trail I go. All right, so we are here at we were just right up the hill there, but there's a nice map here, parking lot. This is that map of the bridge I was talking about. Let me get it better. I'll put these poles. They're gonna fall. All right, so we're right here at D. This is the Ice Age Trail here. Goes up to this bridge at 1.6K. So it's about a mile. But there's a shelter there. There's a shelter here. So I was unaware of what to expect here as far as trees or hammocks. So I did bring my sleeping pad in case I had to go to ground. I could use my tarp as a tent like I did at the Thunder Swamp Trail. But I might just stay at one of those shelters. I might just do that. That way if it rains, I don't have to worry about everything getting wet again. I can let some stuff kind of air out, maybe dry a little bit. That might not be a bad thing. So it might be a shelter night. So I've only stayed at one other shelter when I'm out hiking. I've stayed near shelters, but like in the vicinity of one, but I've only stayed at one shelter once before. So I might just do that. It's only 1.6K. I don't know, there's a lot of trails out here, a lot of bike trails, so maybe I'll drop the pack, kind of get situated, and if the rain holds off, I'll just kind of kick around a little bit and come up with a plan for tomorrow, depending on the weather. Again, 2 different shelters. We'll see what the weather's like when I get to the first one, but it's by a lake, there's a bridge, and there's water, so that might be a very good. So I'm already at H, so right up here. So yeah, probably won't take long to get that first shelter. We'll see. that is definitely a good water option. And here is the shelter. Let's see. Beautiful spot. Doesn't look real big, but it's not a bad size. Well, it's not much. Wonder if there's a way I could set up a hammock in here. I could put my pad on there, or just put it on the ground. It doesn't say that you can't camp there. Looks like there was another bench maybe over on this side or something. All it says is WCC 1990. And I don't know if you can hear that wind in the background, but I'm gonna see if I can pull a weather, see how far it looks like it's out. I'm gonna definitely get some water. Probably stop here for lunch. Also have a seat. See how sturdy this is. Yeah, so we'll see where that weather is. When I was looking at that map, I saw the 1.6K. That was from marker G. It was like 1.2K to that point, so it was a little bit further than I was expecting, but not as far as I thought. Still only at about 7 miles for the day. Yeah, 7.15. Looks like the battery's looks like the battery's dying on the spot. I think got spares. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. If I can get a hammock in here, maybe if I go caddy corner, I might be able to. See. Alright, so in a pinch, I could get my hammock in there, I'm pretty sure. That water's pretty nasty looking. I'll go back down to the bridge. We're right behind this pond, or right in front of this pond. And I could sneak a hammock in there. It'd be a tight fit, but it'll get in there. I'm gonna stop for lunch and see what the weather does. That's beautiful though. I'm gonna walk back up this way a little bit anyway, because see if I pick up signal. I have no signal at the shelter. If I get signal, I will see what the weather's doing. For lunch, I've got a couple different things here. I've got some like rotini pasta with meat sauce, and I've got some ground beef, onions, carrots, and peas with some mashed potatoes I can make into like a shepherd's pie. I think I got the rotini. I got some stuff drying out, and then there's, I think it's one of those cranes back here. Of course, now he stops. Or maybe a swan. I thought I heard or saw swans on the way in. Nah, Now he's being quiet. I don't know if they came out. Over there was definitely sandhill cranes. Or whatever kind of cranes they are. I keep calling them sandhill cranes. I assume that's what they are. Got bright skies there. And through the trees over here, it's very dark. And that is the direction I think the weather is coming from. It's hard to tell though. It all looks the same. It's hard to see which way those clouds are moving. That is how the pasta starts, and this is how it lines up after it's rehydrated. That looks pretty good. Smells pretty good. So I make this at home. I use my dehydrator. I use the leanest beef I can find. I think this is like 92% lean. I brown it and then I rinse it with hot water, get as much fat off it as possible, and then for the sauce, I just use like tomato sauce, tomato paste, and some seasonings. I didn't use like a jarred sauce just because I don't know what kind of oils they put in there. And if you dehydrate it, it's kind of the fats in the oils are what will spoil before anything else. So I make it as simple as possible. So it's going to be, the sauce is going to be probably a little bit on the tart side because it's mostly just sauce and paste. And then you also, you cook the pasta first. You mix it all together, let it sit overnight so all the flavors kind of can, gel, and then you put it on the dehydrator and you let it dehydrate. I let it dehydrate for 24 hours, and then it's good. It's 2 cups of pasta in meat sauce, and I used about a cup of water to rehydrate. So I'm gonna dig into that, walk around listening to the wildlife here, and the sky is getting oddly bright. That is north, that direction. The weather is supposed to be coming from that way, which looks darker, but watching the clouds, it's coming from the south, and I can't tell what that's doing over there. So we'll hang out here for a little bit more. This is about when the rain was supposed to start, and what I saw was if it started at 2, it was going to rain until like 7 or 8. So I looked on the guidebook to see if it's saying anything about these shelters, and all it says is that this is county forest land and primitive camping is allowed. So primitive camping in the woods or primitive camping in a shelter, I don't see a difference. So if I need to use it, I will. If it looks like it's going to stay nice, I'll get back on the trail and go a little further. Oh, the sun looks like it wants to come out. The sun is trying to come out. Okay. That means it's probably going to snow. That's the way it's been today. Alright, so I walked up the trail, up around the corner, up on top of the hill, and got some signal. So the rain that was supposed to hit at 2, that little section of storm broke off, went south, and missed me. So that's good. There is, however, a big chunk of storm coming up about 2 hours behind that. This storm is like the same storm that hit me last night and this morning. It's like a giant comma, and it hit me, the beginning of it hit me this morning. It's arcing up around northern Wisconsin into Canada, and then it comes back down, and right now it's coming across the border of Minnesota, and it's heading back this way. And it's got some yellows and dark greens and yellows and maybe some reds in that radar. So the next shelter is about 3 3/4 3.25 miles. So they got, I think I had it like 6K. I could make that by 4, but I have no time to set up. So I also scouted out over on the other side of the bridge in those pines back there. A nice spot I can set up. I can take my time, get everything set up quickly. I have plenty of daylight, plenty of time. I got a little more protection in those pines. And if things get really crazy, I can just ditch out over here. And again, I got stuff all over the lens. Sorry about that. I can ditch out over to the shelter. I thought about using the bench here, which I could do. I could use this as an option just in case. But then I noticed, see all this on the bottom? In the corners? This is all of that. All of this underneath the bench. That is porcupine poop. So I don't need to wake up cuddling a porcupine, so sleeping on the ground is out of the question there. If I have to go up on that bench, I can in an emergency, or at least come there and hang out if it gets super bad and something happens with the tarp or something like that. Tomorrow's weather's looking like thunderstorms are possible, actually likely. So I think maybe tomorrow when I get up, I might turn and go back to the car. It's about 9.5 miles back to the car. Go back to the car and then maybe drive ahead a little bit, or I'll look at the guidebook, maybe start heading back towards Minnesota. Well, tomorrow's only Tuesday, so figure out something and maybe hit another section of the Ice Age Trail, because it's supposed to blow past in like the mid-afternoon. So if I can get out here early, get to the car, move to another trailhead, and then wait for the storm to pass, and then get back on the trail. I mean, it's not like I can go home. I'm in Wisconsin. The closest people I know are in Minnesota, so I can't really like ditch out and go home. So I don't want to just sit around and do nothing. So I'm just gonna let the weather dictate what I do. I'm gonna set up down there, make sure everything is secure and I can stay dry. And if I need to, I can see the shelter from where I'm gonna set up the hammock. So I think that's my bet. I'm gonna play it safe since I'm out here. I haven't seen another single person on any of these trails. I got the spot that Dragon lent me. I mean, I could let somebody know, but it's gonna take them a while to get here. Okay, I've got this set up ready for a storm, I hope. Remember how I was just saying that tomorrow there's thunderstorms coming? No, they're coming right now. They're on their way. Either that or a bunch of things just blew up over there, because that was loud. There is a thunderstorm coming. Hopefully it misses me. I don't get hit direct, but I've got this staked out. I have got it staked out. Hopefully we're good. Still wet from this morning. There's nothing I can do about that now. So last night I was using the elastics, and these, I don't know if you can see that, they're like this little titanium piece, has a hook on it to hold on to the elastic, and then there's a little grabber that you snap the cord into that locks it in there. That wind was blowing so hard and this cord was so wet that it was just sliding through that grip, and I've never seen that happen. So it wasn't happening on the back side because I didn't have the elastics on there. So I just have them running through the D-rings, like I have this one. So that's how I'm doing all four of the corners tonight. And then basically doing the same thing on the center pullouts. I got the doors closed. I got it pulled down. I got the hammock up. I got the tarp down. I mean, I stayed dry last night. It was just a loud, crinkly sleep. And I think it's going to be the same thing tonight. Just Dyneema is crinkly. And just the littlest movements. see, can I pull this one down a little bit more? Maybe I'll do away with this shock cord here. Maybe I'll do that. All right, did away with that piece of shock cord. So everything is mounted right to the D-rings. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Was hoping to avoid another super windy night. These pines around me all look pretty good. It should help with some of the rain. I'm down in a valley tonight, although I do have the pond right there to the front of me. Last night I was up on the knoll, and I did that because I didn't want to get flooded if it rained really hard, because I was so close to the water. I had a pond on either side of me. But I'm going to hope for a little more wind blockage down here. Whew, definitely would have made it to the other campsite. I mean, I'd probably just be getting there. Maybe, depending on what the trail conditions are like. But I would not have gotten set up because I'm heading into the storm. Man, oh man. All right, well, I think I'm gonna grab my water and a snack. And I don't feel like getting in the hammock now. It's only 3:20. So maybe I will take a walk up the hill again, get some more signal, see how bad the storm's going to be. No way I'm beating it back to the car from here. Looks like I might just get wet. I'm gonna try not to though. Stayed dry last night. Hope that comes through. There's these little ponds all over the place out here. And there's loons out in this one. So I came up here so I can get some signal. And doesn't look good. I'll let it back up. Well, let's see. This over here is headed right for me. Now that orange was red a little while ago, so maybe it'll dissipate a little bit, but it's gonna start raining here anytime now, probably within the next 20 minutes or so. So I'm gonna head back down. I'm gonna grab stuff for dinner. I grab my charger, charge up the phone, my watch, go over to the shelter, and I'm just gonna hunker down there, I guess. Sorry, Steve. Didn't mean to use your saying, but I think that's what I got to do. Man, the heavy rain wouldn't be so bad, but if there's gonna be lightning, that's gonna be sketchy. But like I said, nothing I can do. Okay, so I got lucky. The bulk of the storm went that way. They missed me to the north, but I just went up the hill. We had a little lull in the rain, so I went up the top of the hill, answered some texts, look at the weather, and I heard this coming. So I took a screenshot. See, like so. That's the lull I was in right there. When I pulled the radar, saw it was just about ready to hit me. So all that bad weather went just north of me. Looks like maybe an hour left of rain. So not as bad as I was expecting. I got real lucky that missed, because that sounded really bad. That thunder was really, really loud. So far, have lucked out with this rain. The shelter is waterproof, thank God. I just beat that rain back, dude. It was funny. I could hear it coming through the trees. It was like when I was in the Allegheny. I could hear the rain coming behind me on the kayak, but I couldn't go anywhere in the kayak. Oh, I think I'm gonna make some food. That'll kill a little time. That little jog warmed me up a little bit. I also got some tea I can make too, so I might make that and just kind of relax here. Even once it gets done raining, I might just walk around a little bit, just check it out if it stops while it's still light. And it should be, hopefully, according to that radar, should be a relatively dry night's sleep. Some rain may pop up, I don't know. You never know. But not as bad as I thought at all. Not as bad at all. I thought there'd be high winds and lightning and all that fun stuff, but that missed us. All right, time to make some dinner. All right, well, rain is over. That last little section did last about an hour. I ran up the hill, got an updated weather report, and there's a slight chance of showers overnight, but it's a low chance. Hopefully, it's not as windy tonight, which is not supposed to be. But I'm going to go get in the hammock. Sun is setting right now. You can tell it's getting darker. And I'm just gonna relax, hopefully get a little better sleep than I got last night with all the wind. I mean, when I did sleep, I slept great, but it was windy. So that's gonna do it for this video. Who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow? It's gonna all depend on the weather. See if I just continue on down this trail and try my luck, or if I bounce back to the car and skip up to another spot. We will see. It's gonna depend on how what I want to do, what I want to see. I'm gonna look at that guidebook a little more today, see what's coming up. I know there's a section up past this. If this goes for maybe another 4 miles or 4.5 to 5 miles, I think this goes. And I would have had to stop somewhere in there anyway to camp, because the next section is like a state rail trail, I think, and it's like 11 miles and there's no camping on that. So I would have had to stop here. I think that's what's coming up. I know there's a section with no camping, so we'll see. Maybe I'll turn around, head back towards the car, and just make it a straight shot out to the car, move to another spot, and do something like this in another spot. We'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me dodge raindrops all day. It was miserable sometimes, it was fun. And this is gorgeous. I mean, some of this reminds me of Pennsylvania, and some of it is just its own thing. And there's such an interesting mix of animals here. I heard a bald eagle right up here. I had to come over and make sure I wasn't hammocking from his tree. I don't see a nest up there anywhere, but I did hear one flying around right after the storm. So very cool. A lot of cool animals out here. A lot of birds, which is cool. A lot of different birds. So again, this is gonna do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, or I'll just keep on rambling on. I need to sleep. See you in the next.